Big ass fat lip.
Hello.
Hi. So salty. It is June 24th, which is a Monday at 7:52 a.m. Italian Standard Time.
We're in Venice.
We are.
We did not record a video last
we're
night.
in Mestre, which is right outside of Venice, because Venice is...
Is Venice just the... I've been confused about this. Is Venice just the island?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in Mestre, which is...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Think of it as like a suburb of Venice. So actually I lied. It's all Venice, because it's it's a city, it's spread out onto the mainland, but Venice is the big old island.
Okay.
That we went to last night with all the canals and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we did not record a video last night, despite the fact that we got in at 4 p.m. Dinner was at 8:30, which in Italian time means that it started at 9:15 and didn't finish until 11:45.
I mean, that included some speeches by the VP who organized it and the leader of Adventure Cafe, but even those weren't particularly long. It's just it was... Dinner service is slow. I don't know if that's an Italian thing or just because it's an Italian thing. It's probably also we're going to these places that are hotel restaurants.
Right, but these hotels also host conventions and stuff. Not cons in the sense that Gen Con or Origin or whatever, E3, but it's hi, I have a company presentation that I want to do, so they're gonna they're gonna be 100 people here that you need to feed and provide for.
I'm just thinking that over the course of dinner, I think I saw maybe 5 wait staff for 166 people. I mean, it's
not an Italian thing, it's a staffing thing.
Both.
Anyways, we didn't get into
the apartment, you mean?
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't get back to our hotel.
11:30.
Yeah, and didn't. Whatever. After 76 miles of biking, forget about it. Also, I had been drinking wine because, I deserve it. That's why. Yesterday was really great, though.
So it started off. How did it start off? It just started off normal. We were all at the hotel, found that ramp, got going.
Right in Verona.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually got going early.
We left a half hour early. The biking started at 8 instead of 8:30.
Well, when they start at 8:30, it's actually 9.
Yeah, I mean...
There's always a half hour delay, because there's 166 people here.
Safety reminders and stuff like that.
And there are people who, we have wristbands. So, and you have, it says Milan to Venice on it. It has a number on it. So you drop it off when you get into the hotel, so everybody knows that you're there and not dead on the side of the road. And in the morning, everybody picks it up so they know that you're not dead in your hotel room and on the road. And, day 2, people were still not remembering
or just randomly grabbing someone else's wristband because they couldn't find theirs. I wasn't really entirely clear what that deal was with that one woman, but...
Hilarious.
There's the vagaries of delays associated with a bunch of disorganized people.
Yeah.
The riding was
beautiful.
It was really nice.
I lovingly refer to it as Midwest riding because it was straight. It was a straight shot and ironically surrounded by cornfields. There was very little elevation change.
Yeah, no, it was like riding in one of the prairie trails or whatever. It was very, very flat. The greatest incline at one point was just a one switchback just to get from one road up to a highway access road.
It was literally a merging lane.
Yeah.
Our time to shine.
But also that meant that it was we've had a lot of chunks. Yesterday in particular was a lot of driving on what is some, as we said, either low-level highway, 2-lane highways. Autostrada, sure. But this meant this was a lot more on what we'd consider a country road, and it was very nice. It was very quiet. There were not a lot of cars, which was very good.
So beautiful.
there was one very everything was picturesque, and I actually snuck a bunch more photos this time.
He was just green and gold, like waving.
Yeah.
Or like vineyards, and like we rode past an asparagus farm, just a bunch of, I'm gonna call them orchards, not necessarily for apples, but
well, orchard can be any sort of fruit.
Oh, good. That's a bunch of orchards, wheat fields, corn, like I mentioned. It was early enough in the morning where the sun was shining, but it wasn't super hot yet.
Yeah.
Which changed throughout the ride, which changed during the ride, because it was a spicy boy yesterday.
So yesterday was 127 kilometers, which was just about 78 miles. So there were 2 brief rest towns before lunch. I'm trying to remember anything about. I mean, like, they're not particularly memorable, but
yeah. So one was they're all in like very small villages, and the whole point of them, they call them coffee breaks, which is fucking hilarious because there's no coffee. Yeah. But it's like water, granola, salty snacks, stuff like that. Electrolytes.
Granola Jack, Choco Jack, and Flapjack are these bar things that I guess are a UK thing.
No, they're made by Adventure Cafe.
Oh, they're made by Adventure. They're
super good.
I mean, now that I know they're made by the company, it makes sense. But like, they are soft. They are
easy to digest. Dense. They don't like sit in your stomach, but they're chock full of energy. They're great to kind of get you moving. After on our trip, it was a 10-mile trip from the second coffee break in the morning to lunch, and we ride through Italian D&D land, and the women and I in the group start busting out Sound of Music songs. It was really great. Apparently, Sound of Music is not a huge film in Germany. Shockingly. We met a wonderful woman named Sam, who is from Australia but lives in Germany and works for PRA. And she was kind of telling us about, first of all, got the hard sell last night about moving to Germany. But
get to the bike ride?
Yeah, let's move. But anyways, she and I were going back and forth, and she's really wonderful, and there's a group of 4 women and
Stefan from Germany, another guy, who we kind of were in the group that we finished with yesterday. So we kind of got, chatty with them, and then we just rode roughly with them for most of today as well.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We had lunch with them. We sat with them. We made friends and were social on a trip in another country, and it was
flashback to 2 days ago when we were sitting at dinner alone for like
a solid amount of time for people sent. Yeah, so that was nice. Lunch was the nicest. It was pizza. Like, it was. I don't know if they just found a good place or they sprung for a little bit better options as opposed to just cold roast beef and rice. But you sat down, they're actually kind of running food back and forth, so that was nice. We got back on the road again. At that point, I want to say 1.
Yeah, it was about 1.
It was about
shortly
1.
Afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. So the breaks were 34K, which was 21 miles, 16 miles. So 21K the first break, 16 miles to the second break, 10 miles to lunch. That 10 miles, unsurprisingly, went by really quick.
I thought it dragged.
You thought it dragged?
I absolutely, because you went from picturesque countryside to road driving, and everybody was and it was in the beating sun. I mentioned this before, but when you were like, "Hey, do you want to move ahead?"
Yeah,
it was fantastic because I was I needed to stop. Just
the problem was
wanted to move
because we were on the country roads. You had to ride single file because there were cars pretty consistently passing you.
There's a horse.
There was a horse at one point. We were in we were a slightly larger group of people, maybe 25, 30, and started to spread out. And we were
because you ride single file, you have to. The problem is,
there's a rider who's like, they weren't. This is not slow like the first day. It was just at a slower pace than kind of a larger chunk of the group. So it started to get more in our way, and then there was a point where like we have a break in the road. We booked it for a little while, which is really nice.
It's like running when you're just at a very consistent pace, and then you're just like, I'm so exhausted, and then you put on a little bit of speed and shake things up.
After lunch, the nice thing was the lunch break was 70. Basically, out of a 78-mile day, after lunch, we only had 30 miles left.
I think we had a majority of the ride done beforehand.
3/5 of the way done.
Which is really nice, actually. Highly recommend.
So it was just 2 more, basically 15-mile chunks, which was good because it was hot. It was like it's cloudless, sunny day. It was 80s, mid 80s.
David said that his computer or his bike computer registered 92.
I believe it. Like in the sun, I
definitely in the sun. Yeah.
So and this was decently kind of like we were still riding behind some, I don't know if they're rivers or man-made just irrigation systems. But
no, I think it was rivers.
Actually, it was. But it was fine.
We got to the occasional nice cool breeze off of the water.
The last break point was funny because we were riding with someone who had been actually checking their Garmin map system, and we were just like, "Oh, where are we?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not exactly sure, but it's
less than a mile."
It's less than a mile as we were taking a turn, and the stop was like right there. It's like, oh, it wasn't a mile. Great.
That is the best. That is the best.
Oh yeah, certainly better than
I'm absolutely happy to be like, oh, another mile, I can do that. Oh, another 30 feet, I can do that.
The last stretch, I'm like it all gels together. I'm trying to remember anything really soon. What was nice was getting into Venice, kind of like getting into Verona, was not as much highway or car driving. It was what is either a bike trail or just kind of I'll describe like a country access road. It was basically a single lane road if it was a road.
Yeah.
For a single amount of time, and then getting into Venice Mestra, I guess proper, the external city, not the island, was actually we were going through residential areas for a while, like apartments and some houses.
Yeah. It was not crowded. It was not crowded.
It was not crowded. It was a lot of zigzagging through city streets, but that was fine at that point. It was, oh, hey, I got clipped.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So this was after lunch, and this was in the highway road section where, again, you're supposed to be riding single file. It was during a turnabout. And as I understand it, because I was just riding and there's someone saying, sorry, as they were getting close to me, and they kind of just clipped my back wheel and I fell over. As we were slowing down for a turnaround, we wouldn't want to stop. We were just to get around it, but
because you're merging with traffic.
Yeah, so I fell over. It wasn't even a wipeout. Got back on. We got going, and the person came up and talked to me. And I think it was an Israeli who because I was unlike the past few days where I've been wearing my PRA shirt, I was wearing the Tourlet Tavor jersey. And I think she saw the name Tavor on it, which is a place in Israel, and she was coming up to talk to me about it.
And we were slowing down too.
Yeah, so and I will also I believe this was her fault. I don't know what happened where she got too close to me. I was noticing at that point in the day that I was getting sleepy in the sun, so I was also on a slightly lower level of being able to pay attention to stuff.
I legitimately thought that I stopped and you ran into I stopped incorrectly and you ran into my back tire and you fell over and I was so upset.
Yeah, no, I vaguely remember that I might have gotten into you as I was falling over, but no, there was nothing to do with you at all.
Can't believe I went to knock Ezekiel over.
But it was nice because then going into Venice, it was in the shade more because we were in residential areas. They're just taller buildings and trees. I found it useful to just keep my mind a little bit more focused, needing to make a lot of turns, pay attention because at that point there's no way markers. It's just a guy leading smaller groups in.
Oh right, yeah.
So that was good. Getting to the end was nice. We basically just pulled into the access alley for a hotel. immediately just got all it, because they were like, the Adventure Cafe guys are trying to get this done, so they have to deal with 166 people's bikes, and then some of them actually have to be either disassembled, or people who brought their own seats or pedals have to. And as far as I know, it got done like without problems. So real props to those guys.
Yeah.
Grabbed our luggage, went up to the room.
No, we shouldn't forget the water bottles.
Oh, good call, good call. Yesterday at the Best Western was the nicest place that we stayed. I'm gonna put this place lower middle.
Yeah.
Below half.
There were a few things. One, lack of like actual pillows. It is. I could roll up a blanket and be a better pillow. In fact, I should have done that.
Yeah.
The AC is a joke.
Yeah,
and there
the guy tells me
ants.
I actually went downstairs to say, how do we turn on the AC? Because it was not feeling cool. Like, the thermostat in our room logically doesn't work because you don't want people fucking with it. I suppose he's like, according to him, it was 18 Celsius in our room. And I said, can you lower it? And he said, I'll bring it down to 16. That's 64 and 60 degrees. It's not that in here. It's also like, it's a city hotel. We're at the point where we have actually metal shutters outside our windows, like, as opposed to just blinds.
I mean, it's the issue. Like, Venice is super expensive, and like the real estate is also up, like, at a premium. So can you imagine trying to find rooms for
66 people in a place
that isn't like fuck you expensive?
So I'm understanding and sympathetic to the situation, but it's not a great hotel. Yeah. Also, there were ants when we came back.
There were ants.
Dinner around.
That's how you get ants. Yeah, I loved like, and but they didn't come in from my shoes.
And we didn't have like stuff left out.
Yeah, no, like if there was a ant, sure. When there was more than one, I'm just like,
it was like a corner. It was like a foot by foot corner of the room that was decently. So got here, kind of unloaded, sat around a little bit. Actually, no, we went down to we were social. We went down to the bar with all the other Peoria people, sat with this group of women, and Stefan and a few others who we'd been writing with had kind of...
Prosecco.
Yeah, Laura, who's from Denver.
Who used to live who's from Chicago, used to live in Rogers Park off Pratt, and went to Loyola. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes. Of course there is. Like,
so that she had told the group this kind of like collection of maybe a little over half dozen people. She's like, Prosecco's on me when we get back to the hotel.
Got 2 bottles.
But it wasn't Prosecco. It was champagne of some sort, right?
No, it was Prosecco.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was fine.
It was a lot of
That
fun.
is when, as we started to say, we got a hard sell on
Journey, hard fucking sell. And I love
Journey is a place of magic and
yeah. It's both Sam and another woman that we were riding with, Heidi, who's originally from South Africa, was explaining the benefits. And there are a few like downsides to living in Germany, but
conservative society apparently, which doesn't surprise me.
For like gender roles and stuff like that. But listen, America needs to step up its fucking game. Like,
also at this point we each had, like, I actually had some of the champagne, but we get like a 2-person hard sell moving to Germany after Sarah's had a not insignificant, like,
and I'm just here for it.
Yeah.
Like, bye America. We're changing locales. I'll learn German. I can't speak languages, but ich bin eine Berliners.
You probably won't have much more problems with it than you have with English. So we chilled with them for a little while, and then eventually, like, let's go take the bus to Venice Island, where the hotel was that we were having dinner. Mm-hmm. Got there like an hour early, and we're going to try and go to St. Mark's Basilica.
Yeah.
Which the problem was...
San Marcos, but...
checking the map was like a 22-minute walk from where we were to get there. We'd have to get basically back to where we were, so like...
Yeah, bummer. We didn't really do a whole lot of sightseeing in Venice. But...
I mean, we walked around it. I'm happy to have simply walked around and actually seen. We saw what's the name for the boatman?
Gondola.
And gondolier. Gondolier. Unfortunately, not singing, but we got to experience a little snippet of Venice.
Ezekiel was like, "No, we don't get to Assassin's Creed someone," and I was like, "Rude."
I'm tired. I just rode a bike. I don't want to climb that many stairs. So after the ride yesterday, I go up the stairs, which is like
2 flights, maybe 3.
To this room?
To our room. And my thighs are screaming. I am out of breath, which is just insulting given what we've done over the last 3 days. Mm-hmm. So rude. Oh my God, my butt is just, it is not, there's no muscles that are sore. It's like it's all chafing and all raw. And it's hilarious because I was catching in snippets. We were riding the last leg with a group of people from Wales, and one of the women was like, I've never used the word vagina as much as I have during this 3 days. She's like, and I'm like, yeah, with perfectly complete strangers. And this is a real thing. Like, and you get this in a lot of communities, especially when it's like running or whatever. Trauma. Yeah, where there's a lot of physical activity, and I'm going on a limb that that there are more things that can affect women riders and runners than like male. And so I'm just like, yeah, girl, I feel you.
I was asked to spell out exactly what a guy does with his balls during a bike ride.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Just lift.
Do you split them over the seat? Like,
I just like little danglies. Like I've been watching you ride.
Yeah, so we walked around Venice Island for a little bit, got to the hotel for the dinner.
See, what they do is they put wine out on the table.
Yeah.
So you just drink it and you stop giving a shit.
What do you think of the waiter's outfit, Sarah?
It's like fucking... Okay, so I understand... So it's a very traditional gondolier outfit. It is a straight... Like, it legitimately is. Like, it's a straight shirt, solid color pants, and there's a bandana. But it also makes you look like a fucking deranged mime. And I was like...
The hotel we were in was, like, kind of positioning itself as a hip place, or not, like a place where Hollywood or movies that had...
Yeah, like it had like a movie theme, which I thought was really cool. Like every Thursday you could watch a movie, have a glass of wine, and some dinner, which it sounds great. Like they had themed cocktails. I think the movies that they wasn't shot in Venice because they had like Casablanca and like The Quiet Man and stuff like that. But yeah, which was like, I'm here for, but
It was just strange, and maybe
really they had suspenders and just... maybe it's
the type of thing where just like you feel like you need a gimmick. My thought would have been you're on Venice Island, you're probably not like... Anyway, dinner was fine. Ravioli, which was decent, and chicken, which was fine.
Spinach.
Speeches.
They handed out some awards, which was...
We got medals.
We got medals, so I'm stoked for that. But they're just like blue, and it says Milan to Venice 2019, and it's just like a golden rider. It's very...
It looks nice.
Yeah, it's gold plated, not with real gold, obviously.
Good.
But it's like a cyclist, and on the back it says Milan to Venice 2019, which I actually really appreciate.
Also, it's PRA because #company.
Big Pharma. Yeah, because PRA.
Right. Also, Heidi would be willing to hire Sarah in Germany.
Yeah.
So
she's
maybe.
Like, it doesn't look like you take any shit. I was like, I give off that impression.
Back to the hotel. Actually, no. There's a brief. So, I would like to say that I feel like I am in general a very organized person.
Yeah.
And did a lot of but I think part of it was I kind of unloaded all the thoughts of responsibility at the end of this to Adventure Cafe. So I lost the bus pass that we were given.
So we were told, and this is like maybe second or third hand. So we got a bus pass, and you could get down, but you had to find your way back, which is not difficult. It was the L4. There are only there are very few bus lines in Venice. There are like 2 trains, I think.
More than that, at least.
No, there are 2. because I was looking at that map. But there are like maybe 6 bus lines. And so, and at this point, I would consider us relatively proficient in Italian public transportation. It's also not that bad. And so we were told that like it was only good for one way, which is hilarious because it's like $150 for one ride and a $3 for a round trip. So anyways, yeah, we get back on this crowded ass bus. It's like 11.
It's packed.
30. And Ezekiel's like, I can't find my pass. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. Because you don't, the bus system in Rome thus far, I can't speak for Milan, but for Venice and Rome, is honor system, quite honestly. Like, there are people that will come on and check to make sure that you've scanned your pass. But if you want to get on the back of the bus and not scan your pass, that's fine. If they catch you, they'll make you scan it or they'll fine you, depending on how, like, circumstances. So we're at this impasse. Like, we can pretend to be dumb American tourists, which is not hard to do, and kind of risk it to see if somebody checks the passes, because they're like conductors, or get a pass and then just play it safe. I didn't even get another pass. I just held on to the one that I was given. Ezekiel, we went and we got another pass for him.
Got back on the bus, which was even more crowded at this point.
Yeah.
Not that we would have known, but like looking around, it's like there's no way anyone's walking through this place to check tickets. Like, you can't move.
Yeah, he didn't scan the second pass. I didn't
even validate the little. They've got a reader on the bus, which I didn't even use. So we got back, disgorged at our hotel, came back, packed up a little bit, and crashed, basically.
Yeah.
Came downstairs. Breakfast also was...
I woke up with a swollen bottom lip for some reason, and I'm assuming that I'm just now allergic to everything. It hurt, and it was big, and it was noticeable. Like, it's still a little swollen. I don't know what's going on. So our flight is at 12.
Yeah.
It's 8. So we should head down there and grab our boarding passes, because the only way we can print them out is emailing them to the hotel, and hop on a shuttle and go to the airport and go to Dublin and then go home. Yeah. So what are you going to do when you get home?
I'm going to work tomorrow, so I'm probably going to sleep.
That's ridiculous.
Whatever. It is what it is at this point.
I just want to.
I mean, yesterday I was jonesing for a cheeseburger pretty hard. We'll see if we want to do any food when we get off the plane, or if it's just like, please, Mom, take us home.
Please, Mom, take us home.
We'll see. But yeah, so like, honestly, after the last day's ride, my butt was sore at various points during it, but I felt fine getting off. Like,
yeah, my thighs hurt a little bit.
My legs were tired. Kneeling down at various points to like pick up stuff was just more difficult than it would have been otherwise. But like, I could probably go out biking. Not that I want to, but I could go out biking today if I needed to.
I made this comment at the end of the ride yesterday where I was like, hey, remember all the fear and anxiety we had about this ride before we left? And it was real. Like, you're doing 200 some odd miles over 3 days, and like, the weather has not been conducive to riding if you're not like a hardcore fucking maniac. Like, after like for a long time, you just get off work and it's dark out, or if it's not dark, it's raining or just miserable out. And even on the weekends, we went out twice and got shit on. Like, it was, so there was this fear that we wouldn't be able to do it, and we absolutely did it. And I think we did it
today we were riding what was probably like the high middle group.
Yeah, like, so if we
speed was not a problem.
Yeah, started at 8 or 9 or 8:30 or 9, and then like take off an hour for lunch and got in around like 4:15 or 4:30. I'll take that.
The person we escorted on the first date was in fact the last person to finish the ride. So I'm like, yeah, we were
super proud of her.
But
yeah.
It was like, yeah, we were. There's a reason we were riding so slow.
Yeah. She was with I always call her Evelyn.
Yvonne.
Jesus.
Yvonne.
Who is a badass. Who like apparently is just like, hey, I'm gonna ride like 1,200 kilometers. Like,
yeah,
no big deal.
Chatting with the Adventure Cafe, the ride team, somewhat unsurprisingly, I guess they're just like, yeah, I'll casually go out and do a
600 miles with a single speed.
Yeah, 600 miles on a fixie.
Yeah,
with no sleep except for one time when apparently he fell asleep while riding. Also, the casual like, I'm gonna go out and do a 10,000 foot ascent.
Yeah, there were there was a group of riders. There were 2 riders who rode from like Germany through Switzerland into Italy, like in order to warm up for a 3-day like ride. And I was just like,
there are
some amazing people in this group.
The bike team with hardcore riders, which you would expect from people who do this as a job. There are some people from PRA who, unsurprisingly, are like, I am a cyclist, and this is what I do, and this is, I'm lowering my standards to do it with my company at this point. But
I'm going to be in the top 10 and always finish like in 2 hours.
And just like the people who, there was someone who was talking when they were talking about the extended route for today, which was like a 400-meter incline very quickly. And she's like, oh, that's nothing. It's like, good.
We did the 520 incline, right?
250 meters. Yeah,
my dyslexia strikes again.
But apparently we were actually on the pretty high end in terms of people who like actually prepared for this. So yeah, good us.
Yeah.
And that was
our trip.
Tour Italy 2019.
I think we did well. I think that we're always more terrified of the hypothetical than the reality.
I mean, yeah,
it's so wild. Well, I mean, it's the unknown, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're always scared of what we don't know.
Yeah. Now we're gonna go get our boarding passes and wait for a shuttle to the airport.
Yeah, and I'm down for that. I want to go home and I gotta put on pants.
Yeah,
so, well, I mean, I'm wearing pants right now, but I'm just wearing jeans to the theater of the airplanes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is Sarah and this is Ezekiel. Or Ezekiel
says so on my shirt.
Yeah. Ciao. Bye.